Have you ever wondered why some relationships leave us drained while others empower us, even after they end? The answer often lies not in the nature of the relationship, but in our own sense of self-worth. This invisible yet powerful aspect of our identity can profoundly influence our emotional well-being in relationships. Today, we will explore the journey of a young woman named Sarah, who, like a phoenix, rose from the ashes of a painful breakup. Sarah's story is a testament to the power of self-worth and its ability to change the course of our lives. When Sarah's relationship ended, she was left with a whirlwind of emotions. She felt lost, unloved, and worst of all, unworthy. It was as if her sense of self-worth was tied to her relationship, and when it ended, she felt as though a part of her had vanished. She no longer recognized the person staring back at her in the mirror. This is a feeling that many of us can relate to. The end of a relationship can often feel like the end of our world. We question our worth, our desirability, and our ability to love and be loved again. This is a dark and lonely place to be, but it's important to remember that it's only temporary. Sarah's first struggle was to recognize that her self-worth was not dependent on another person's validation. She had to learn to love herself, to see her own value, and to understand that her worth was not determined by her relationship status. This was not an easy journey. It took time, patience, and a great deal of self-reflection. But, as Sarah discovered, the path to self-worth is not a journey that we walk alone. It's a journey we share with the people who love and support us. It's a journey that requires us to be vulnerable, to be open, and to be brave. Sarah's story isn't unique, but her journey to regain her strength and motivation is. Let's delve into her transformation. Breakups are hard, they shake our world. And so they did for Sarah. She had built her dreams around him, the future she envisioned was with him. And when that future suddenly shattered, the resulting fragments cut deep into her heart. Let's dive into Sarah's story. She was a vibrant young woman of 20, full of life, dreams, and ambitions. But when her relationship ended, it felt like a part of her ended with it. The man she had loved, the one she thought would be her forever and a day, was no longer a part of her life. She felt a deep void within her, an emptiness that seemed impossible to fill. The bright future she had painted suddenly turned into a blank canvas. Sarah found herself grappling with feelings of worthlessness. She questioned her worth, her value. Was she not good enough? Why was she not worth fighting for? These questions haunted her, adding to the emotional turmoil she was going through. The breakup had not just affected her heart, it had shaken her confidence, her belief in herself. She also felt a profound sense of loss, not just of the relationship, but of her identity. She had invested so much of herself into the relationship that when it ended, she felt like she had lost a part of herself. This loss of identity left her feeling disoriented, adrift in a sea of uncertainty. And then there was the self-doubt. The what-ifs and if-onlys that played on a loop in her mind. What if she had done things differently? If only she had been more understanding, more patient. These thoughts consumed her, making her doubt her decisions, her actions, even her worth. The breakup was a dark period in Sarah's life, a time when she felt lost, alone, and unsure of herself. It was a time of pain, of heartbreak, of self-doubt. But it was also a time of growth, a time of self-discovery. For Sarah was lost, but as they say, when you hit rock bottom, the only way is up. In the midst of despair, Sarah found her spark. At the heart of her heartache, amidst the rubble of a relationship that had lost its shine, Sarah discovered something profound. She found a glimmer of hope. It was a flicker at first, a tiny ember that barely caught her attention. But as she nurtured it, it grew, illuminating the darkness around her. This turning point wasn't marked by a sudden magical revelation. It wasn't a scene from a movie where the music swells and the protagonist has a life-altering epiphany. No, Sarah's transformation began subtly, quietly, in the quiet corners of her thoughts. She began to revisit her dreams, those she had set aside or forgotten in the pursuit of a relationship that didn't serve her. She began to realize that her value, her worth, didn't come from another person's affection or approval. It wasn't defined by a relationship status or by how many people were attracted to her. Her worth, she discovered, was innate. It was inherent. It was hers and hers alone. It was in her passions, in her talents, in her kindness and compassion. It was in the way she laughed, how she loved, how she made people feel seen and heard. Her worth was in her resilience, in her courage to face the pain, to let it in, to let it change her, and to emerge stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Sarah began to understand that her worth was not something that could be given or taken away. It was not something that could be diminished by rejection or heartbreak. It wasn't something that could be measured or quantified. It was simply there, always a part of her, as essential and unchangeable as her heartbeat. She realized that her worth was not defined by a relationship, but by her own self-belief and self-love. She understood that she was enough, just as she was, without needing to be validated by anyone else. And so, Sarah started her journey of self-discovery and empowerment. This wasn't the end of her story, but rather the beginning. A turning point, a pivotal moment that marked her transition from a girl who sought validation from others to a woman who found it within herself. Sarah's journey wasn't easy, but it was worth it. It was a road paved with determination, resilience, and an unwavering belief in herself. Sarah began to understand that her value was not defined by someone else's perception, but rather by her own self-worth. She took the first step by focusing on her dreams, those audacious visions she'd held onto since childhood, but had set aside in the pursuit of a relationship. She dusted off her aspirations, those of becoming an accomplished writer, of traveling the world, of making a difference. It was a challenging endeavor, but she realized that the only one who could make her dreams come true was herself. Sarah also reconnected with her passions, those activities that made her eyes sparkle and her heart race. She immersed herself in her love for painting, for exploring nature, for dancing like nobody was watching. These passions breathed life back into her, painting her world with vibrant colors and filling it with joy. But perhaps most importantly, Sarah committed to her personal growth. She took up yoga and meditation, developing a deeper connection with herself. She read books on self-improvement, attended seminars, and sought counseling. These steps helped her understand her worth, her strengths, and her capabilities. Her transformation was not overnight. It was a journey of many days and nights, filled with moments of doubt and moments of triumph. But each day she grew stronger, more resilient, more confident. She learned to love herself, to respect herself, and to trust herself. She discovered that she was not incomplete without a partner, but rather a whole, beautiful, and powerful woman on her own. And through this transformation, Sarah's world changed. She no longer sought validation from others, but found it within herself. She no longer depended on someone else for happiness, but found joy in her own company. She no longer feared being alone, but cherished her solitude and independence. Sarah had become a new person, stronger and more confident than ever before. She had transformed from the caterpillar into the butterfly, ready to spread her wings and fly. She had found her strength, her purpose, and her self-worth. And in doing so, she had discovered the most important relationship of all, the one with herself. Sarah's journey taught her valuable lessons. Our story has unfolded, and we've seen Sarah navigate through the depths of heartbreak, only to rise stronger and more resilient. It's time to distill the essence of her journey into lessons we can all learn from. One of the most vital lessons Sarah learned was the importance of self-worth. She realized that she was worth more than the painful relationship she had been clinging to. She understood that she deserved respect, kindness, and love, not only from others but from herself. She began to see her own value, not through the lens of someone else's opinion, but through her own self-awareness and self-appreciation. Remember, your worth is not defined by someone else's inability to see it. Sarah also discovered the power of self-love. She learned to treat herself with the same compassion and patience she would extend to a dear friend. She recognized that loving oneself is not a selfish act, but a necessary one. It is the foundation on which all other relationships are built. You cannot pour from an empty cup, so fill yours first with self-love. Personal growth became Sarah's guiding star. She realized that every experience, good or bad, is an opportunity for growth. She started to view her breakup not as a failure, but as a stepping stone towards becoming a stronger, more resilient individual. Growth is often uncomfortable and challenging, but it's the key to becoming the best version of ourselves. And lastly, Sarah discovered the power of resilience. She learned that it's not about how many times you get knocked down, but how many times you get back up. She turned her pain into strength, her tears into motivation. She found that the hardest times often lead to the greatest moments of her life. Sarah found strength in her pain, motivation in her struggle, and in the process, she found herself. Her story is a beacon of hope for anyone walking a similar path, a testament to the power of resilience, self-love, and personal growth. Remember, you too can turn your pain into power, your struggle into strength, and find yourself along the way. Thank you for watching Rise Above, empowering 20-somethings after a breakup. We hope Sarah's story has inspired you, shown you the power of resilience, and the importance of self-worth. If you found value in our content, we encourage you to hit the subscribe button and give this video a like. By doing so, you're not only supporting our channel, but you're also becoming part of a community that values personal growth, self-love, and empowerment. Remember, you are not alone. There are many out there who are walking the same path, and together, we can rise above. Let's continue this journey hand in hand, supporting each other. So, subscribe, like, and share your experiences in the comments section below. You never know, your story might be the inspiration someone else needs. And remember, you are stronger than you think. You have the power to rise above and become the best version of yourself. Subscribe and like our channel to join us on this journey of empowerment. Stay tuned for more inspiring stories, uplifting content, and empowering advice. Together, we rise.